Hi, this is Craig. This is my fourth mindfulness video, so I hope you're enjoying these. This one is about the universe of magic, which is a nice phrase. So I'm going to talk a bit about that, but we're going to do a meditation to begin, just to ground ourselves and get ourselves in the mindfulness moment. So I invite you to close your eyes, just relax where you are, and I'll hit my trusty bell, which I have here, just to begin. Okay. So just begin by noticing your breath. Just notice your in-breath and your out-breath. Feel the air as you breathe in. Feel the air as you breathe out. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're breathing out. And if your mind wanders away from the breath into thinking, just notice it does this and gently bring your focus back to your breath, breathing in calmly, breathing out easily. And just take this moment just to observe how you're feeling. Notice the chair that you're sitting on, ground under your feet. Just tune into your body, noticing if there's any body sensations or emotions. Whatever's there, just breathe with what's there. Breathing in awareness of your body. Breathing out calmness to your body. And as you breathe in, just visualize your breath being a white light, just entering every part of your body from head to toe. Just releasing tensions on your out breath. Breathing in light, breathing out tension. And then just expand your awareness away from your body, out into the room that you're in. Just noticing any temperature or heat or any sounds. And then return to your breath, breathing in deeply, breathing out slowly. So just take another few conscious breaths. And just when you're ready, gently open your eyes, come back to your space. Okay, so thank you for that. That was about 10 minutes of mindful meditation. As always with these meditations, you may notice your mind is wandering off to the past or the future. It's not present with your body. And so mindfulness is the practice of coming back to your body, noticing your mind wanders off, accepting that it does, and then just gently coming back to your body. The more presence we can cultivate in this way, the healthier we'll be, the happier we'll be, the less likely we are to be worrying about a possible future or mulling over a disappointing past. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about the universe of magic. The universe is very magical. And there's many properties to the universe that, as humans, we tap into from time to time, which is lovely. You could say when we're in the flow of the universe, there is a flow. It's like a river, and it pushes us along nicely onto various things, various projects, and various situations. It's constantly unfolding. It's like the arrow of time, if you're a physicist. So the universe of magic is full of creative energy, and I like to kind of give a metaphor of a tree. So if you think of a tree, it is full of creative energy. It also, it's interconnected with the sunshine and the soil under it. It's very rooted in the ground, and it changes, doesn't it? Trees change over the year. They get leaves in the summer, and then they shed those leaves in the autumn, which then feeds them for the following year. So you could say it's self-sufficient in a way, a tree, but it needs the sunshine, it needs the soil, it needs the rain, it needs all of these things. It's also generating oxygen for us. So you could say the tree isn't really separate, it's part of the universe, and it helps us to breathe. It also knows how to fix itself. If there's a tree in front of it, for example, and that's blocking the sunshine, often trees lean or move or grow their branches longer in order to get to the sunlight. So it kind of has this awareness of what it needs in order to grow. And it is selfless in the fact that it doesn't get annoyed that a tree's in front of it blocking the sunshine. It doesn't say to the other tree, "Oi, get out of here." And it doesn't worry about birds nestling in its branches or anything like that. It just kind of exists. It seems to be unconditional in its friendliness, selfless, you could say. So, all full of unconditional love, even. So, these are some of the properties of the universe. And as humans, we tap into these, but often when we go into our heads and we start to think too much about things, we're in the past or we're in the future. If we're thinking about what I call our ego thinking, and there's a video about ego armor, which gives you more in-depth conversation about ego. But basically, ego is feeling like you're resisting, you're fighting the moment, something's happened and it's like it's bothering you. So you could say there's some phrases like, "Oh, I've had a nightmare of a day today," that's an ego phrase. Or "Oh, woe is me," or "I can't believe it's raining and it should be sunny," and nobody seems to listen to me, or "I'm so stupid at times, I wish I'd done that better." Sometimes you think, you wake up in the morning and you're like, I wish I could just stay in bed, what's the point? These are all ego statements, and they've got I, me and my in those phrases. I'm fed up, I don't like this, what a nightmare of a day I've had, I'd be better off staying in bed. There's an I in those sentences, and the I is your ego, and that's what resists things. Even a morning, you can wake up in the morning and resist it. You just want to stay in bed. You think, "Oh, I can't believe it's morning. I just want to stay in bed." Especially on cold mornings, we have that. So you could say this is non-mindful mode. When you're in ego, you're kind of blocked, if you like, from the flow of this river, this universal flow. And you can imagine times when you've been in the flow, you kind of, sports people call it the zone, where things just seem to work, everything is effortless, you don't have to think too much, there's a happiness. This is all part of the flow. When we're more present, that's what we get. But when we're blocking it with our thinking, we've left the flow and we're in a kind of different journey altogether with our heads, just thinking about things. So you find that a lot of these thoughts are judgments. I've had a nightmare of a day is a judgment of your day. I'm so stupid is a judgment of yourself. Nobody listens to me is a judgment on other people. I wish I'd done that better is judgment on yourself again, or I'd be better off staying in bed and not bothering is kind of like a storyline. It's imagination. None of these things are particularly true. They just come up subconsciously from our autopilot in order to try and protect us and make us feel safe. But it's actually separating us into a separate self away from the universe. So we're not connected, we're not part of the flow, and actually we're not even accepting our life or even ourselves. So this is all subconscious. So a lot of these thoughts, a lot of these emotions that can be generated from these thoughts, because a lot of these thoughts can generate things like anxiety or depression or sadness or frustration or just what's the point of living kind of thoughts. Sometimes we even get thoughts of like, oh, I'm so stressed, I'm going to get ill. And then what does tend to happen is what we think about tends to manifest in this universe of magic, because the universe tends to give you what you think, which is a really interesting trait. So if you're worrying a lot, sending out negative thoughts a lot, then your future will also be negative and worrisome, because that's what you're doing in your head. So if you say something like, what if all this stress gives me an ulcer, then you're more likely to get one than if you were positive or you were happier in your thinking. So it's good to notice what it is we think. And this is where mindfulness comes in. It's noticing that we're beating ourselves up, or we're moaning about the day, or we're judging something, or we're griping at someone else, and to try and stop, and to try and pause, and to try and come back to our breath, and come back to our awareness, and try and let go of these thoughts, because these thoughts aren't real. They're made up in our heads. And if you don't attach to the thoughts, then they drift by, like a passing car. And so it's gone. You don't have to attach to it. Your emotions don't get any worse. You're just noticing your thinking. So it's good to notice when you're in your head and you're judging and you're feeling a victim and you're feeling an ego and you're feeling heavy. I spoke about heaviness in episode 2. Try and come back to the universe, because when you're back in the universe, you will have the properties of the tree. You'll have more unconditional love. You'll be more selfless. You'll be more connected to things. You'll know how to fix your own problems. Just as the tree leans into the sun, you'll know which way to go to help you. A lot of the stuff up here can muddle that. It's good in certain situations when you're problem solving, of course. Thinking is good in those situations. But there are things that your mind can't fix, or we need to try and accept, especially the past. We can't fix some things that have happened in the past. So no amount of thinking or mulling it over is going to help. The thing to do is to let go of your thinking and come into your being, and you will find that your body will have an emotion or will have a response to what happened in the past. And you can calm it, you can breathe with it in the moment, and then you're healing your past, you're solving your past. Your body knows how to fix itself. And everything changes in the universe, everything is impermanent, which is a good news, I think. If you have a headache, and at least you're not going to have a headache for a long time. It might be a day or a few days, and then it's gone. Things change. We don't really want things to stay the same, but our ego does. Our ego wants things to stay the same because it feels safe. I've got a steady job, I've got a steady income, etc. That feels safe, that you want that to stay the same. But this fighting of impermanence, this again resistance to what the universe does, which everything changes. There's an uncertainty to the future. Nobody really knows what's going to happen next week or next year. We might have ideas, and again, as I was saying earlier, some of these ideas manifest into the future, so be careful of your negative thoughts. But we don't actually know what the future is going to bring. So we need to try and trust and accept the now, the moment, which is what mindfulness is about, and then the future kind of takes care of itself. We don't have to keep thinking about it. What if this happens, or I'm worried about next week, etc. It's just imagination and fear building, if you like. So the mindful person, they accept whatever's happening in their moment. So they might be feeling sad. Sadness is okay. We're not trying to get rid of sadness. In fact, we're not trying to get rid of anything in mindfulness. All we're trying to do is notice. So at one moment you might feel happy, and that's great, and then another moment you feel really sad, or you feel frustrated or something. So a mindful person's like, okay, yep, I'm sad. It's happened. Here I am, feeling a bit mournful. Okay, I accept. It just is. Sometimes there's not even a reason. It's something from your deep past, or might not even be your past. But anyway, there's sadness there. So knowing that everything changes, one of the universal laws, and accepting that you're feeling that way right now, will let things shift through. So you're still part of the flow. And being positive, affirming to yourself that you're doing your best and it's okay to feel sad, and I'm not beating myself up for it, or I wish I wasn't. We don't say those kind of things. That's blocking the flow. You're just like, yep, bring it on. I'm sad, okay. I'm happy, okay. It's raining, okay. It's sunny, okay. Everything is okay in mindfulness because we practice non-judgment. So you can also be, as I say, visualizing positivity in your day. It's called creative visualization. So you can wake up in the morning and you could think, rather than go, oh, I can't be bothered getting out of bed, you switch that and you're like, right, okay, I'm going to smile, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to enter the day in the present with my mindfulness. And today's going to be okay. I'm looking forward to today. Today I'm visualizing today being okay. So you're projecting a kind of positive thought into the future, and that's what's more likely to happen. So if you're visualizing and sending love to things as well, which is what we do in compassionate meditations, where we sit and we think of someone who's struggling and we send them love or kindness, that works because you're rippling out positive thoughts and positive energy into the universe, and they don't need to know that you're doing it, but there will be a receiving of that energy. So the universe flows and attracts things to you depending on what you're thinking. So it's very important to notice your thoughts. So if you're aware of what's going on in each moment, i.e. you're mindful, you're awake, you're with your body, then you'll notice emotions, you'll notice thinking, and you'll be able to choose which thoughts are true and which ones aren't. And so, I'm hungry. That could be a truthful thought because you're having a tummy rumble as well. And so that's fine. But if you have I can't be bothered to get up today, you can challenge it and you can be like, right, I'm breathing. What's the feeling behind this? And it could be a heaviness, it could be frustration, it could be boredom, it could be whatever it is. And so you you try and label it. You like, I'm bored, actually, that's what it is, boredom. Well, welcome, boredom. I accept that you're here. So it's all about accepting everything that comes. Breathing in, boredom. Breathing out, calmness. You're trying to be with your boredom. You'll find that will make it shift slowly or fast, it depends. But the more you're kind of just in the moment, all you're doing is doing what you're doing right now. I'm in bed, so I feel the duvet and the pillows, and I'm breathing, so I feel my breath. And I'm walking, so I feel the ground under my feet. And I'm drinking my cup of tea, so I'm feeling the cup in my hand and the heat from the tea, and I'm enjoying the taste of the tea. I'm there, I'm present for these things. And if you live your life like this, then you find you don't worry about the future so much, and you're not visualizing negative stuff as much because you're catching the negative thinking. When I say negative, you could say I'm judging a thought to be negative. So thoughts are just thoughts, but when we get an emotional kind of affliction, if you like, to the thought, like anxiety or anger or something like that, then people call them negative in a way. Then they're neither positive nor negative, but it's catching that emotional link, because then you can be with that emotion with kindness and with acceptance. And if you're visualizing kindness and acceptance out into the world, then you're being mindful and you're part of the universe of magic. And it is practice to do this, to have this kind of curious adventure mind where you're not worried about the future and things can be more spontaneous, and you're not getting thwarted with your plans, or, things will happen. You might have set a day to do a writing project, and then your friend knocks on the door and says, "Come out for coffee," and you're like, okay. And if you accept, you're going with the flow. If you're resisting, then you'll get frustrated and you'll get upset and all the rest of it. And then it's important to be with those feelings. So practice kindness, practice sending kindness to people, sending love. You can do this in meditations, or you can just do this on the hoof. As you walk past someone and you see someone frowning and looking miserable, you can sort of go, right, breathing in their pain, I'm breathing out kindness to that person. I can see that they're struggling. And do this to yourself, see if you can begin to like yourself, look in the mirror and notice anything that you don't accept, and breathe with that too. Welcome that in. Just go, you know what, I do feel rubbish about myself. Well, okay, I accept that, but let's let that go. Let's see what else I can say about myself. Can I give love to myself? It's very important to give kindness to yourself. The more you do that, the more confident you become. So practice loving kindness wherever you go. Practice joy practices. That's like doing something that you enjoy doing. Really focus on it. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be colouring in, could be reading, could be writing, could be walking, could be gardening, could be cooking, whatever. Enjoy it. Enjoy each moment. You'll be increasing your joy levels. And yeah, that's kind of the practice. What you're trying to do here is come away from fear. So we're at a certain level of fear, and that's our future past thinking. So we're trying to reduce that by being more in the moment, and we're also trying to top up our love by doing joyful practices and sending kindness and all of these things. And eventually your love will overtake your fear and you'll be happier. That's kind of how it works. So be positive, be conscious, be aware, try and take away all these storylines that are in our heads. These I'm too stupid, or I'm fed up, I just want to stay in bed, or these are just stories. Come out of your head and into your body and notice how you are feeling. And once you notice how you're feeling, be with whatever the feeling is, accept it, be kind to yourself. Things will change. It's one of the laws in this universe of magic. Things will change. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. So it's all about noticing your thinking, and the only way to do that is to practice mindfulness. Otherwise you won't be aware of your thoughts, you'll be in them. So practice your mindful walking, your mindful breathing. meditation. We've done 10 minutes already in this video, so that's wonderful. You've had 10 minutes of mindfulness practice. Mindfully drink your tea, mindfully eat your breakfast, mindfully shower in the morning, or mindfully have a bath. Many ways of being mindful. It's just tuning into the moment with your awareness and not thinking about it too hard, not judging things to be wrong. So if you can practice that, your mindfulness will grow, and then you'll notice you're thinking better. And then once you notice you're thinking, then you can choose which ones are good and positive for you. You've got a wisdom that can tell you these things. And you'll notice the ones that are kind of made up, or storylines, or the ones that are beating yourself up or beating other people up or judging. And you can choose in those moments, because you've seen it, to let go of it. And the more you let go of, you'll be happier and more accepting of the flow of this universal river. So thank you for watching, and I hope that that's been useful for you. And there is a sheet attached to this video on my website, so if you visit my website, you can download that sheet. So it's www.craig-gilbert.com. So have a look at the video section. So okay, so thanks very much for watching, and I will see you another time. Bye bye for now.